This video is sponsored by Wing Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. For today's valued viewer request, we've actually got two, but they're on the same thing, from Baluk Falcon, the cheapest kill. The morning of 7th December was quite hazy, particularly at lower altitudes where the dust of the Punjab plains mingled with the moist cold air, giving the sky a murky appearance. It was just 4 days since the 1971 Indo-Pak War had broken out. While the PAF was conserving its air effort in the early stages of the war, IAF's intensity of air operations was building up at a fast pace. Flying Officer Man Mohan Singh was ferrying a gnat from Halwara to beef up a detachment of No. 2 Squadron at Amritsar, where these aircraft were deployed to perform air defence duties. As Mohan was nearing home, the controller at Amritsar radar asked him to delay his landing while a pair of Su-7s took off. After holding off for a few minutes, Mohan resumed a northerly heading for the base. Squadron leader Farooq Haider, a veteran of the 65 war, was sitting as the duty controller in No. 403 radar station, which was located in the outskirts of Lahore. Watching the radar scope intently, he had picked up a blip as it approached Tarn Turan, south of Amritsar. With the adversary nearing its home base, Farooq had to act fast. He commenced the interception with steady instructions on the radio. Your target now over Tarn Turan, heading 360, do you acknowledge? Target 20 degrees, right 5 miles, turn hard left 360, do not climb, do not acknowledge. Target 12 o'clock, 2 miles, go full bore, do not acknowledge. Okay, target is 1 mile ahead. The IAF had been expecting PAF fighters to sneak in below the radar cover. Thus, to be doubly sure about any undetected intruders, the IAF used a capability that it was well equipped for: eavesdropping into pilot-controlled conversation. Listening into what was going on, the IAF controller was completely dumbfounded at the development, for he had not yet picked up any blip on his scope. All of a sudden, he frantically shouted on the radio to announce the presence of interceptors in the gnat's rear quarters. It was no surprise that the controller's warning to Mohan sounded eerie, as if a spectre was being reported. With the interceptor's distance rapidly reducing and shooting down of the gnat almost a certainty, the controller followed up with a panic "Break!" call. Mohan reacted as any fighter pilot would have done in this situation. He yanked back on the control stick and threw in a very tight turn to shake off his pursuers. Farooq noticed that the blip had disappeared from the radar screen shortly after manoeuvring had commenced. Normally he would have inquired about the fate of the target from the interceptor pilots within moments of the shooting. This time, however, he had to be discreet. Maintain radio silence and recover at low altitude, he called out. Meanwhile, Farooq and his fellow controllers wondered if the vanished blip meant that the aircraft had landed at its base. India's official history of the Indo-Pak War 1971, published 30 years later, covers the air operations with a diary of action, which includes important events like air raids, aerial victories, losses on both sides. A keen reader would notice acknowledgement of the loss of the gnat on the 7th December 1971, in which the pilot tried to take evasive action when warned of Pak aircraft in the vicinity. He lost control and crashed. The only inaccuracy with the account is that the Pakistani aircraft was nowhere near. Stand-in combat air patrols were a rare commodity due to the excessive demands on the PAF's limited assets. Farooq had therefore reacted to the emergent situation in a most ingenious way. He impulsively decided to fake an interception in the knowledge that his calls would be monitored. The thrill of playing a prank was better than getting frustrated at the sight of an enemy blip pacing away unscathed. In the event, Farooq's trick resulted in a bargain of great value, in which can be gleaned from the amazing fact that not a gallon of fuel was expended, nor was a single bullet fired. Arguably, it stands as the cheapest kill of air warfare. So I'll see, via some clever radio trickery, the Pak guys managed to convince an IAF controller that a non-existent, or an aircraft that was certainly nowhere near, was actually on the tail of one of the IAF aircraft, forcing the IAF controller to tell the IAF guy to brake, and as it happens, he did brake and crashed, at least as far as we can see if this story is true.
Weird.
So we've got to go and reenact that now. It's going to be extremely hard, and we're going to have to really think outside the box, but let's get the closest we can. Welcome back, viewers. We are a Tomcat from the future in the IAF-PAF war. We're just cruising along. I hope no ghost planes appear to scare us. Oh no! Lost Diablos! RC, brake! Oh, the wings have come off, RC! Eject!
Oh, I'm black. I don't get it.
I could have trimmed that out.
Uh-huh.
Lost Diablos!